Hey, good morning, Dr. Zero Trust. Chase Cunningham recording here for Cybersecurity H2 and I'm HQ, excuse me, and I'm going to give you the top 10 articles that you got to look at this week. So let's go through this. Number one, Estee Lauder's been hit with ransomware. Follow the attack impacts their business by up to 300 million. And Estee Lauder is a big, giant company. Does anybody think that they didn't have all kinds of technology and controls and training in place? This is pretty interesting when you think about the size, scale, and scope of this. So if you need makeup, it may get a little rough for you. Industry reactions to the SEC guidelines. Not everything is positive. The SEC guidelines are interesting. The question becomes, how do we do this for small and mid-sized business? What goes beyond the scope of the guidelines that's currently there? Because everything talks about just publicly traded. And then it also talks about international, because how would that work when our SEC is the US and everybody else is everywhere else? There's an article on career advice from the top women in cybersecurity. This is on IT World Canada. If you're a lady, female, woman, whatever you call people nowadays in cybersecurity, I would go check this out. There's some good tips on how to make more out of your career if you're interested in that type of stuff. Cybersecurity in sports. This is interesting because hadn't necessarily thought about all the implications of what you would consider to be intellectual property and proprietary information for sports groups. Like if you're a pitcher, how fast you throw the ball, other pieces of data that might be valuable. And all this stuff becomes particularly valuable now that we have these online gambling and gaming systems as well. So interesting stuff there. Fruity Trojan. Yes, that is this piece of malware's designation, its name. So if you ever look for, I don't know, a dumb name for something, there you go, Fruity Trojan. This is in the Hacker News. It's just software that's been repurposed. Legos and cybersecurity. This was interesting. It's in Wyoming news of all things. Hadn't even known that they were doing cybersecurity in Wyoming, but hey, there you go. And if you're interested in how you could use Legos to help sort of figure out cybersecurity strategic initiatives, go check it out. Don't step on Legos though, because it hurts a lot. There's a look in the Federal News Network about how the DoD is rolling out their cybersecurity strategy, and it's a snapshot. It looks at what's going on currently today. And it's also interesting to see what's coming in the near future. And the cybersecurity strategy for them is till 2030. Obviously, it goes on after that, but really their plan to be ZT looks all the way out to 2030. So that's 7 years from now. Russia jails a top cybersecurity executive for espionage. If you live in Russia and you're doing anything other than basically praising Putin, I would be very, very careful what you do. And I would stay away from second-story windows, because it seems like in Russia, no one knows how to close a window and people keep falling out of them. So be careful there. This guy, I think he got a 14-year sentence for just saying what he thought. There is a book review on securityboulevard.com for cybersecurity threats, malware trends, and strategies. If you're into malware research, if you're into threat research, if you're looking for stuff about new threats, this is a pretty good book, pretty good solid reviews. Go check it out. And then lastly, ZeroTrust is, as Mugatu says, so hot right now. There's an article in HelpNet Security, talks about authentication challenges and how CISOs see ZeroTrust as a key strategic initiative, but it is they call it a hot ticket item, which is good, maybe bad. Anyway, I'm Dr. Chase Cunningham. That's the top 10 things you need to know this week in under 5 minutes on Cybersecurity HQ.